Hihaniwashte mitakuyapi. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining us for our final session of the Native Americans in Philanthropy 2024 conference. We hope you all enjoyed your breakout sessions over the last few days. Tashina Banks Rema Emachiapi, Oglala Lakota na Leech Lake Ojibwe Hamacha. I am the Executive Vice President of Makpialuta, or Red Cloud School, and a member of NAP's Board of Directors. Please allow me to reflect on the importance of the NAP conference for my relatives back home. In my home community on the Pine Ridge Reservation, infrastructure development across sectors is happening at a pace not seen since the beginning of our colonization journey 150 years ago. Lakotia Wakichiglakapi Wachi. We have a strong Lakota language revitalization movement happening at Makpialuta. Makoche agriculture is developing indigenous agriculture and food systems designed to regenerate an equitable and healthy community. First Peoples Fund built the Oglala Lakota Art Space, serving multi-generations of culture bearers. On the policy and advocacy front, the South Dakota Education Equity Coalition are committed to shaping a strong future for Indigenous youth in South Dakota by promoting diverse, equitable, and inclusive learning environments. And these are just a few of the 47 nonprofits investing into and serving our Oglala Lakota community. Hechina Wa'ush Akapi, we are still strong. And if it weren't for the partnerships and the philanthropic support of the individuals and organizations in this room, our self-determination on the Pine Ridge would not be happening at its current pace. So speaking on behalf of my home community, my children, and my future grandchildren, Lila Wopila Tonka Echichie Kushto. And now, for our final performance of the conference, I am delighted to introduce the Red Tree Singers. Red Tree Singers are a drum group from the Lower Sioux community in southwestern Minnesota. The people from Lower Sioux, or the Mdewakanton Dakota, are also known as the Chanshayapi Oyate, meaning the people from where they paint the trees red. Red Tree Singers have continued to support the community through their dedication to preserving the teachings of the drum, the heartbeat of the people. Please give them a warm welcome.
Hey,
Let's give it up. One more round of applause for those amazing dancers and singers. Lila Owoyo Wangwashte. Oh, that is so beautiful. It just warms my heart. Oh, I'm so proud. To kick off this final session, please welcome Eric Stegman to the stage.
Well, folks, we made it. It has been 2.5 days, at least for me, and I think most of this room, hopefully all the room shares it, of powerful conversations, hopefully really meaningful connections together. Bingo. I also understand there's a lot of karaoke going on. I've heard at least 3 or 4 different karaoke groups happening. A little bit of that element in the IHS conference episode of Reservation Dogs, for those of you who know exactly what I'm talking about. But really, that was one of the things that, for me, just talking to people in the elevators throughout the conference, was just that people really felt like at home, and they were having a lot of fun while also being inspired this week. So we're gonna reflect a little bit more at the end of this session, but I'm really excited for this conversation. As with the Shaping the Future of Self-Determinations conversation, one of my absolute favorite things about this job is building partnerships. I actually did not realize the power of an organization like NAP until I took the helm here and really got into the work on a daily basis. And what I realized is that it was really at its core about relationship building. It's something I absolutely care about. It's something that I've seen what happens when we bring our people together, and especially when we facilitate partnerships with our allies, with our partners who are not from our communities. And with a sector as weird and bizarre and often frustrating and damaging as philanthropy can be, we have a lot of really amazing partners in philanthropy at the same time who are really listening to us, trying to help us shift this sector, shift power in this sector, and to really indigenize this sector. But we can't do that without these powerful partnerships. Partnerships are also not a one-size-fits-all situation. As any of us know, we have to spend time, we have to build trust. We have to really understand who each other is and where we come from, who our people are, what land you come from. All of this is what goes into long-lasting change, long-lasting investments that really create the vision that our communities are seeking. So today we're going to bring 2 pairs to the stage, 2 pairs of partners in our own work at NAP from across the country, because we really want to get at the story behind these partnerships today. I know a lot of funders who I talk to on a regular basis, especially those who are new to tribal communities, to working with Native people. They really want to understand, what's the right way for me to be in partnership? How does that partnership develop? And we're storytellers, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to bring 2 partners up here, and we're going to tell the stories behind those partnerships. So if you please welcome our first set of partners, Becca Golden from the Ben & Jerry's Foundation, and Chase Iron from the Lakota People's Project. Well, good morning, both. I hope you've enjoyed the conference so far. It's really great to have you here. I wanted to just start by, again, asking who are you, where are you coming from, and tell us a little bit about your work, and then we'll dive into how you 2 ended up meeting and what you're doing. So we'll start with you, Becca.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to give a little, just brief overview of the Ben & Jerry's Foundation. It's a separate nonprofit organization from the company. And one of the important aspects of what we do is that all of our grant-making decisions are made by Ben & Jerry's employees, teams of Ben & Jerry's employees. So a big part of the work we do at the foundation is kind of bringing these absolutely non-professional grant makers into the world of philanthropy and helping them understand the issues we support. And the issues we support are well, actually, we don't prioritize any issue. We fund grassroots organizing, really small, constituent-led organizations working on the front lines of whatever issues that they're most impacted by, figuring out what the solution should be. And we fund all over the United States. And yeah, that's a little bit about the Ben & Jerry's Foundation. I would also just say that one of the things we do, because our committee members are Ben & Jerry's employees and they're on a learning curve with us, we do learning tours every other year. We take a learning tour to a different part of the country and do a deep dive, meet with grant partners, but also others in the field working on whatever issue we're sort of focused on for that learning tour. And the story that I want to tell is kind of about a learning tour we took to South Dakota last year, but I'll let Chase go now.
Great. Chase, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you come from and your work?
Yes. Haumatakyapi, kola iuha ichicha, leam betki lila iomakpi wahi na wahi najipi. It's really good to be here with all of you. And I want to thank the people who maintain their cosmologic relationships to Badote and the land of the wild rice, as it might be called in the English language. But I'm an attorney by Western academic standards, you might say. And I grew up on the Standing Rock Reservation. I now live on the Pine Ridge Reservation, where we've been making our home for 6 years. I've been working in the nonprofit space for 12 years. So this was before there was an immense premium on indigenous-led nonprofits or philanthropic organizations. This is before DEI. This is before all of that evolution. And so we foster law, media, and policy initiatives for tribal sovereigns. Tribal sovereigns are a huge, untapped, unharnessed vehicle to defend not only indigenous birthrights, but those rights that adhere in the American population or the Canadian population, the English-thinking universe, by virtue of their citizenship, constitutional rights, constitutional authorities. We try to coalesce all of these pillars of our identity, whether it's our cultural identity or even a settler identity, you know, and a cultural pre-contact metaphysics and that which is coming to us from post-contact. You know, I've talked to a lot of people at this conference, and we're all grappling with certain aspects of the colony, and we're all trying to heal from that. So part of what I do is to hang around our young people, the Native American Youth Organization that is here at this table right in front of me from the Pine Ridge Reservation. It's connecting with people who speak the language, who are fluent, who are maintaining those sacred relationships through ceremony, through ritual, through reconnecting and connecting, and trying to help them avail themselves of administrative capacity, leadership building, whatever it is that they need. That's what we're trying to do. And I met Becca, and she came out to our sacred lands. You know, she came out with the whole squad, with the whole Ben & Jerry's Foundation, just came into our homelands and said, hey, can you travel around with us and tell us about your sacred lands? Tell us about your origin points. Tell us about the places that connect to the stars, you know, to the certain constellations. And it's just been a blessing, and it's very heavy, right? I've been working with, I can't believe it's only been 6 months, but our partnership is budding. And I'll just say about that much about, you know, kind of where I'm coming from.
Thanks so much, Chase. I so appreciate that, because every time I've worked either with our youth leaders or our community members from different communities, one of the things we always do is invite people to visit where we're from. And I love that that was the beginning of this this partnership between you. Becca, can you share a little bit more about what it was like to go out there on your initial visit and what you learned and what came out of that?
Well, I want to say that we reached out to NAP to,
Oh, yeah, I
to
guess I
help
should mention
us.
that
You
too.
know, really important. Brittany and Kelsey were completely collaborative and really helped guide us in developing this learning tour, because I just, it came with a learning mindset, and we did have some grant partners in Rapid City, and that's why we decided to come there. And we reached out to Chase because kind of at the last minute we decided we hadn't planned to go to Mount Rushmore, but for various reasons, which you may have all read about, I don't know, but we decided to add an extra day optional for folks to go to Mount Rushmore, but I knew I didn't want to do the Park Service tour. I wanted, for lack of a better word, an Indian guide to help us navigate that space, and so we reached out to Chase because we had a very sort of tangential connection with Lakota law, and we knew that he had been working on some of the land back issues there, and Black Hills are not for sale, and so and on our Zoom call to talk about Mount Rushmore, it became very clear that Chase's ability to tell the story and ground ground his people tell the story of the grounding of the people in the place. It was very palpable even over Zoom, and so we basically had him along for almost the entire tour. He really helped. He opened the tour for us, helped set the place, told the stories of the ancient history, and really related them back to his own personal life and the legacies. And anyway, it was very, for everyone on this tour, and we had 25 people with us, it was profound. I mean, it was, all of our learning tours are always amazing, and everybody says that was the best one yet, but this one was very palpably different in a way that is very hard to articulate, but that sense of place, the sense of the history, and the real connection, profound spirituality that we could feel, thanks no small part to the work that Chase did to really take us through that history and those stories, transformed all of us and really is helping to guide us in our thinking about how we want to continue our relationships in that community.
That's great. Chase, you mentioned that this was a budding partnership. I think one of the things that we're also trying to highlight is when funders are coming out, getting to understand who we are, building those relationships, but also committing to a long-term partnership. And so I know this is at the beginning, but what are some of the things you're hoping to do together with Ben and Jerry's Foundation and some of your other partners?
Well, Becca and I, and there's other people involved in the partnership. We're working with, where I live in the Black Hills, that's the homeland of not only the Oceti Sakowin, but the Sioux Nation, but other tribal nations. I think there's 15 tribal nations that center themselves in and around the Black Hills. So we're trying to work with other organizations out there that are more established than I've ever been. I've had a long journey into the world of philanthropy, and we all reinvent ourselves in our careers, over time. And I started out in tribal economic development. That's what I really wanted to do right after law school. But the Dakota Access Pipeline caused me to defend myself and tribal sovereignty against colonial intrusion, colonial violence, colonial aggression. And Native people, indigenous nations, have that right to defend ourselves against that imposition. But it's not just a physical imposition like it was during the pipeline fight. And that oil is still flowing through there. There's probably almost $100 million of oil flowing through that pipeline every single day. the Sioux Nation doesn't get a dime. We're in a lurch. It's not like we'll take money, but what I'm saying is everybody in this room who's connected to different resources, different means, different methods, different circles that, I will never be in, or maybe you might not ever be in my circle, but through partnerships, through a human-to-human relationship, where human beings that are here, I can feel it from the people I talk to, from the natives who are not federally recognized, who are being marginalized, who are being otherized by the federalized Indian. And those identities were assigned to us, when the reservations were created. So we really have to think about how, not only within our own demographic as Native people, but other human beings in the English-thinking universe who are looking to create a relationship with the sacred universe, with the elemental powers or the gods, or however anybody's religion might know those things. That's really what's at the root of political partnerships, economic partnerships, philanthropic relationships, social relationships. When Becca and her whole squad is coming to our territory, I've got to level up my storytelling. I've got to know what my origin points are. I've got to know my cosmologies, or what the academics might call cultural mythologies. Partly because my children have put a tremendous amount of pressure on me to know these things, because they never stop asking questions. And we're doing our best. People who are around my age are doing their level best to keep up with you guys. Like, I'm inspired by all the young people who are taking charge in this room and who are going to help us level up, because the system that's in place it's not socialism, it's a forced dependency. It's a forced dependency, and it's a capturing, an institutional capturing that we're trying to liberate ourselves from. And the private sector is now, through your work, I never heard of Native Americans in philanthropy, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad you guys connected and you connected us, because it's not just where I live, it's just not where everybody's coming from. There's across this whole Turtle Island and around the globe, people are seeking your leadership. You young people who are learning the songs, learning the language, and empowering yourselves. And if you don't know those things right now, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I didn't start learning those things till I was 31 years old. I always joke and say it takes Native men start to mature at about 40. If you're lucky. And that's shout out to our women, man. Our women have been carrying us. Anyway, so there's a lot of work to be done, and making friends here is the way that we're going to do that.
If I could just build on what Chase was saying, so what we're trying to build together, along with other advisors, Chante Hart, I don't know if she's still here, Nick Tilson, and really everyone we've been meeting with and building relationships with, we are building a dedicated funding program, initially focused in the Lakota territories, because we don't have a huge amount of money at the Ben & Jerry's Foundation, but so initially we wanted to focus where we've already begun building relationships. And it is particularly focused on helping to nurture the next generation that Chase was just referring to. So we really want to find ways to support young people and elders in bringing the young people along into that next generation of activism.
Well, this is such a great note to end on. I grew up as an organizer, and I've always been surprised at all the spaces you can apply being an organizer. I've done it in policy, I've done it in philanthropy, and I think sometimes a lot of funders worry because of whatever financial resources they can invest. But what I hope this is an invitation to other funders in the room about is that funders can organize together. I really look at NAP as an organizing entity, because what you're doing to invite others to the table, to set up funds, to build those relationships is what's going to grow these resources for this important work like Chase and all of his his colleagues are heading. So please join me in thanking Becca and Chase for joining us today. We're going to transition to our next partners at the table. Thank you both. All right, next up we have Lee Francis from IndigiPopCon and Robert Barron Price from Google.org. Please come join me up here. I'm kind of loving this Oprah thing.
So let me tell you about my new book.
Well, Lee, since you've got the mic already, we're going to go ahead and start. I have to tell you, I am still so upset that I have not been to an IndigiPopCon yet. But can you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you come from? And we'll do the same.
Absolutely. Guatiaupa, Dawatre Drashk, Wehenume Lee Francis, Washesh Gawekame, Eve Medicaname. My name is Dr. Lee Francis. My family is from the Pueblo of Laguna, on my dad's side from the village of Guischi, also known as Powati. And on my mom's side, just all sorts of American. I'm the director of Native Realities and the founder of the Indigenous Comic-Con, which we started in 2016. Thank you. I know we got some fans in the house of that. And we just, 10 days ago, or 2 weeks to this day, we had just launched it. So about 10 days ago, we just wrapped this year's event. We'll be looking forward to 2025. My work has always revolved around the Indigenous imagination and how do we cultivate that and spark that in all these multiple ways where as Native people and Indigenous peoples, we're really not seen in American mass media and popular culture. So years ago, it started out with making comic books, which we still make comic books. We make shorts for YouTube using puppets and anything that we can, including the Pop Culture Expo and our upcoming partnership and collaboration with the Indigenous Worlds of Wonder to find spaces where we can exist as Native and Indigenous peoples in our full, true, amazing, wonderful selves, and not being, like pigeonholed or pegged into a certain way of having to be or exist. And that's really it's really about how do we spark our imagination and move our young people and our communities forward.
That's great. I loved when I was running the Center for Native American Youth how many of our youth leaders had started to go to that, and it became such a home for all the nerds that were out there, all the creatives. I just
Indiginerds.
There's a lot of us out there. Robert, this was another one of these where we were, again, I love this part of our work at NAP. We were able to really help facilitate a partnership. We've had a partnership with Google.org and some of the work that you're doing to invest in our communities. Can you tell us a little bit about you, and then also tell us a little bit about what you two are doing together?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Eric. Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Barron Price. I'm honored and humbled to be sharing the stage with these two visionary leaders in space with all of you today. I'm here representing Google.org, which is Google's philanthropy. Our mission is to bring the best of Google to tackle some of the world's most pressing challenges. It's a really tall order. We do that by providing funding, infrastructure, and tech expertise to underserved communities. That way, access to economic opportunity is available to everyone. I'm going to utilize my phone to make sure I don't miss anything, so please forgive me. But as a philanthropy, we've had the privilege to support Native-serving organizations like the National Digital Inclusion Alliance to help thousands of rural and tribal community members acquire broadband internet and the skills needed to use them. Also in the National Congress of American Indians to support Native entrepreneurship programs, as well as their institutional capacity building for digital skilling programs. We actually have NAP to thank for introducing us to Lee and the cohort of grantees that I'll speak more to in a second. Our historic support for Indigenous communities, while meaningful, lack proximity and voice from tribal communities themselves, which is why we sought out a partnership with NAP. We know that tribal communities are facing compounding structural challenges, particularly generational underinvestment in education, infrastructure, and economic development. Everyone here is well aware of that, but it's important for funders to take that into account to ensure funding and programs are successfully deployed. We partnered with NAP to be more intentional about our engagement with indigenous communities and invest in native leaders who are shaping the future of tech. Lee is one of those leaders. NAP helped us with a holistic review of our giving, mapping our focus areas to exciting work being done by native leaders, and connected us so we could build relationships directly with them. We were honest about our collective limitations and worked together on the best approach for the work, and I could not be more excited about where we're landing. Getting to know and then being in relationship with Lee and the other inspiring leaders in his grantee cohort, Kathy Deernwater with ACES and Ian Her Many Horses and Andrea Delgado Olsen at Indigigenius has been transformative for me. I'm proud to support the work that these leaders are doing, envisioning indigenous futures and infusing native values in tech education. Their voices are critical for the native tech ecosystem to flourish, and we're hopeful other corporate funders become more intentional with their giving in indigenous communities as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I was talking with you a little bit in the green room about how there's so many different kinds of funders I am focused on trying to get into this network. And I just so appreciative for you all as one of our newest corporate funders. And I'm really looking forward to figuring out how we can build more of a community of those funders. And Lee, can you tell us a little bit about, sort of what's this relationship like right now? What are you guys doing together, and where are you hoping it goes?
It's a great relationship. This guy's awesome. I'll just come over there and just snuggle with you. It's great. The relationship started with NAP and started with conversations and really just around my imagination on sort of, we have this, Comic-Con and this thing that goes on where we get to explore our pop culture identities, but there's also that other section because there's like such an interweaving of technology and indigenous futurisms in the work that we do. And so it really struck me as to wanting to have and provide a space where we could come together as Native and indigenous folks to be able to have conversations around technology and relationship building, meaningful conversations, because oftentimes we get these moments at conferences and it's all of our hallway moments. And I was like, well, let's just make the conference one big hallway moment where we can explore the imagination, where we can take that time to be facilitating, to facilitate with one another to problem solve. And that's, this partnership is how do we solve those big problems? Well, it takes imagination. And too often we get caught up in we get caught up in the transactionalism of things, right? So as opposed to relationship, we get the transaction of the day-to-day. Well, we got to make sure this thing works, and we think a lot about capacity, and we're trying to problem solve on capacity, and not often giving ourselves time that our Western counterparts have to just think and be in space and converse with each other on how we solve these problems. One of the big ones we keep coming back to that I talk about, is broadband. Well, we've been struggling for broadband for decades, at this point. So this collaboration and the gathering that we're hosting in September is a way for us to be able to think outside and think around those limitations and those constrictions by, sparking and opening this imagination process and envisioning this beautiful indigenous future. So we had these conversations, and that was our starting point. I was like, I got this idea for a conference. It's an unconference, if you will, where we can bring people together and just have some really meaningful, deep conversations, and from tribal leadership to young people to community to elders to just sit at tables together and dream and think and then develop action steps and strategies out of that. And how do we get there? Because that's, I always like to point out at any event, I was like, man, I got Star Trek fans out there. I got a few, yeah? Live long and prosper, y'all, okay? Growing up on Star Trek, remember they had all the little tablets? Well, we're here. Somebody thought of that. Somebody envisioned that. We can do the same for our communities as well, and that's what this partnership has afforded us and allowed us to do.
Yeah, that's so great because, I'm seeing so much of this stuff happen around tribal communities, and, this visioning work, I think, is really the key to everything we're trying to achieve, whether it's the resources we're trying to raise, it's the solutions we're trying to build. And, the tech sector does this all the time, so I love that you brought up the phone because, you have to be able to think outside these boxes, these barriers that are put on our communities to actually be able to develop these kinds of solutions. And Robert, I'd love to hear a little bit more. What is like Google.org wanting to learn from this partnership? How is this sort of influencing some of the rest of the work that you're doing in your field?
Absolutely. It's been an incredible journey building with Lee already. We're just getting started, but I have learned so much from him and inspired by his passion and commitment to Indigenous youth. He's obviously a powerful storyteller whose tireless work creating platforms for representation and creative outlets is perfectly suited to connect Native worldview to tech development, especially for the youth. I can't wait to see this particular project come to life for the first iWow convening this fall. I hope to see you all there. Shameless plug. Our hope is that through that first gathering, we'll help solidify ecosystem relationships and help folks take an action plan for implementing culturally relevant tech programs by, for, and in their communities. We've already gotten some early insights from this work that we're going to use to build on. One is that physical space is important. Providing infrastructure and capacity building support for organizations is vital. And that leaning into relationships from the collective network is often where the solutions lie. Yeah, and we're going to continue to just build on this foundation that we have with him.
That's great. Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm going to wrap us up with you, Lee. You know, you got a room full of funders here. What are some of the things, you know, both in your partnership with Google.org, but also just working with philanthropy and the work you're doing? What are some of the things you'd like to share lesson-wise for funders, and you know, what's working? How should relationships develop?
Yeah, thank you. I think the biggest thing, and I really appreciate what we've been able to do, is to continue to remember is that, I mean, we'll say it and it's cliche, but it's to think outside the box, right? We don't want to live in boxes. We like to live in circles, right? So it's to remember those ways and to allow for things like an Digipop, right, or an iWow, where we're focusing on different avenues of approaching these things. I think that's really critical and important to remember for all our funders, and I know a bunch of folks are doing that, and as we continue to expand that, I think that's really important to look at. So, because, you know, I mean, we run this Comic-Con and this event, and you get, you know, 1,200 community members in a space over the weekend, cosplaying and checking out cool things and cooking food and demonstrating all this stuff. And the only way that continues to work is by this foundational support, right? Is this relationship building, which is a conversation and an idea and a spark of inspiration and taking a chance, saying, hey, yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool because there's some cool things that are being done. And I think that's in all of our work. And so, you know, that's the kind of support that we need to continue in the work that we do, because we are, you know, always looking for those collaborative partnerships, always looking to continue to be sustainable in our work. And yeah, and this kind of work with amazing supportive partners that are just like, yeah, I'm so excited to see what this is going to be, and having those conversations is the best moments I think that we can have in philanthropy and funding, and especially for Native and Indigenous organizations. I will give my last plug. If anybody is interested, our registration site goes live. Our iWow is being hosted in Durham, North Carolina, or Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Thank you, Triangle, my Triangle folks. And it will be this September, and you can check out the website, and we'll send some stuff along, maybe as a little something through the links and the Whova and all the rest. So, but I'm so appreciative, and I just want to give a big thank you to Robert and to Google.org for this support and allowing us to get this work started.
Well, great. I hope to see you all there. Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
All right, transitions from Oprah chair to stage. Okay, let me get to my correct place here. All right, so one of the things I love doing throughout the week, as you saw in the lobby, outside here by the registration desk, we asked you what indigenizing philanthropy means to you. And I hope, I know many of you had contributed to that, but it was just really fun throughout the week to see how some of those conversations evolved through sticky notes. And I wanted to share a couple of the ones that really stood out for me. One, give like a relative. Indigenize the application and reporting process. Let the community that you wish to support lead strategic planning and investment. Certainly heard a lot about that right here. Being bigger than a training. I think that's another thing I've started to see change a lot in philanthropy over the last several years, is not just being focused on sending us to meetings and trainings or having us do your trainings. And create our own tables. That's really what NAP was founded to do in the first place. It was our people at the Council on Foundations meeting with a small group of other AAPI professionals saying, we need our own table in this sector, so I really loved that one. Let me tell you, what really indigenizing philanthropy means to me as I've been reflecting through the week. Again, it's, I think, really about the relationships. One of the things that is such a challenge in being an organization that works within a sector like philanthropy that has been so harmful. It's basically a tax code for a bunch of rich people to give money away a certain way. It's Western. Most of our communities have no idea what the word even means. But we decided that we wanted to build power within it because there's a lot of resources and there's a lot of power here. And for me, indigenizing philanthropy is about shifting that power. It's about the fact that we have all these young people in the room. Our elders who helped found this organization, these relationships. When we launched this conference, we had no idea that we were going to sell out 2 months early and that we were going to have to pretty much double the registrations. But that's what building power in the sector looks like. It's standing alongside our community partners and our own people working in the sector who are actually trying to change the resource landscape for our people. We've been around for over 30 years, and the next 30 years for us is about continuing to bring these values to the forefront, the values that really underpin all these conversations that we know in our heart from our communities is who we are, but it's also what we bring to this field and to the rest of the country. More and more, I am having so many people who are not from our communities want to learn from us because of the way that we know how to value the land, how we value our generations, how we value the stories, the language. These are all things everyone needs to learn from, and especially in a sector like philanthropy. So these are all the things that we are doing together. The past 3 days have been filled with moments that demonstrate what it means to indigenize philanthropy. We talked about concepts that are deeply important to us, including self-determination, intergenerational thinking, and reciprocal relationships. We've heard from experts who've shared about innovative approaches to philanthropy, native solutions, to some of the most pressing social problems, and how we're stepping into that future. And we've celebrated, had a handful of joyful moments together, from bingo receptions to small moments of community building that happen while you're out waiting for meatballs. I hear we did finally get more meatballs. I never got a meatball. This conference is enriched by your presence and your participation. Thank you for your insights, your time, and definitely for your spirit. That spirit has been with us throughout for the last 2.5 days. And we can't wait to do this all again, and we'll certainly be sharing information for our next upcoming national conference. We can't leave today without acknowledging the many people who worked so hard to make this conference possible. There are so many people it takes to bring something like this to life, and I can't wait to shine a much-deserved light on them. Let's hold our applause to the end if you get a chance, just because we've got a lot of people who deserve that thank you, and we want to give them a big round at the end here. I'd like to thank all our amazing sponsors. I'd like to thank our local advisory committee. This was another one of these things that was just such a tremendous partnership to be able to be welcomed here by our relatives and to work with them to design this amazing program and to build new relationships back home where NAP was really founded. Our audio-visual partners, Tuttle Co., and our AV support, Encore. Our communications and event partner, Rally. Our photographers, Mateo Perez and Frosley B. Fowler. The Minneapolis Marriott City Center and staff that assisted us. Our food partners, Natives. our marketplace and vendors and cultural performers, and all of the incredible speakers and breakout sessions that made this conference what it was. Thank you for everyone for all the hard work that went into this. And now, you know, I've been here for just over 4 years. We had a very small team, only 2 people when I started. And we are now over 25 people. And something like this really doesn't happen without our amazing staff. The entire NAP staff has come together for this conference, and I want to share a very special thank you for Kelsey Woody, our Director of Events. Thank you so much, Kelsey. I'm going to go ahead and ask the staff to come on up. For those of you who have met them throughout the week, thank you, Kelsey. I'm going to give you a hug. This is unbelievable. Please join me. And while they're still, thank you, yes. Come on out, we got to get the photo, everyone in. Get your dues. Okay, there we go. We're gonna get our photos here, this amazing team. While we're doing this, just to say, I have never been part of a conference that has run so smoothly and has been so meticulously designed with our community partners. And it is because this entire team worked together in so many amazing ways to make this happen. So please join me in one big round of applause again for my team. And as you all leave today, just please know, this is who makes up our organization. We are your resources. We're your connectors. We're the ones who are here to support you in your community. So as we journey home today, I hope you'll reach out to us and get to know the rest of my amazing team better. So thank you so much, everyone. All right. To close this out, to close this out, I'm going to ask our board member, Tony, who's going to come and close us out. Tony, are you back there? There's Tony. Thank you, my friend.
Drek Olpus Nanch Kanamasaga. Awful hard to see any of you. Slochawium Kanawi Slaksta. Country slush dumdum naikipus. Mislet yakwapi country slush dumdum naikipus wawa tenus kabamasaga. Greetings, folks, and truly my pleasure to be here in front of you and having an opportunity to say a few words. My name is Nastyo. My tax name is Tony Johnson. I am, as noted, a first-term board member with NAP. Absolutely pleased to be having that opportunity. I'm also a senior program officer for Initai Foundation in Washington State. I'm also, I'm sorry, I wasn't waiting for applause. I'm also a member of the Chinook Indian Nation at the mouth of the Columbia River. Really pleased to say that I have had the opportunity to be born, raised, and live and work, still work for Initai from our traditional homelands. Maybe feeling compelled to also say that, you know, I came to philanthropy, or maybe I'll say this, I am also new to philanthropy like many of you. For those of you that are not, it's been my pleasure also to be a student of yours. But My career was in language and culture revitalization, working for my neighboring tribes. I had the good fortune of learning, I say, another language and a half in my younger years. But regardless, that's the way I came into this work. On behalf of the NAP board, I want to raise my hands and extend a heartfelt thank you to each and every NAP staff member that helped make this incredible conference a success, and I think many folks will agree, NAP's best conference to date. So again, folks, we'll just say this. Hayamasi, Namuksachliuk, Nakalama, but that's, really our sincerest thank you from the board. Eric did a great job here of highlighting and thanking everyone that's put in or really given their all in assuring that this year's event was successful. But really want to take a minute to show Eric our gratitude. Gonna ask folks, Eric's vision as a leader of NAP, his continuing partnership with so many of us, or maybe all of us, cannot say enough about that. I think the way that he just brings himself to this work. And so folks, can we give Eric a round of applause? So we hope that you share the board's excitement to see what's next for NAP and what's next for the future of NAP conferences. Thinking of coming together in this way or future conferences, shared teaching, I assume it's a shared teaching amongst some of our communities, but from my Chinook community is that we carry our ancestors behind us. And so with that teaching comes the idea that when we all gather in a way like this, that there's a bit of a party happening behind us, right? That those people that we've all carried to this room from all of your beautiful places are also together. And in that teaching, or an extension of it, is that there will be learning and there will be knowledge that comes to us from the interaction of those people behind us. And so we say, when it's quiet, when we're alone in the woods, when we're going to sleep, that's when that teaching comes to us. And I, for one, am really excited to see what comes from that and that teaching. At this time, it's my honor to introduce to the stage, so it was said I was closing out, but I'm going to tell you. It's my honor to introduce to the stage the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, Peggy Flanagan, who has graciously agreed to send us off and close out NAP's 2024 conference. And so please, everyone, Lieutenant Governor or Tai Flanagan.
Thank you. Well, bonjour, hello. Peggy Flanagan, Indigenous Kaz, Gijuewa Demokwe, Indigo, Goabagag, and Cognan Junjaba, Mangan Nodame. My name is Peggy Flanagan. My tax name is Peggy Flanagan. It's actually Margaret Flanagan. But my name speaks with a loud and clear voice woman, and I'm so happy to welcome you here. I'm a member of the White Earth Nation. My family is the Wolf Clan, and I have had so much FOMO over the last several days. I've been traveling out of state for work and just like watching Instagram. I'm like, look how much fun they're having. Now they're at Owamni.
Now there's this panel with all these people I love. So I'm super excited to be here to close you out. But I also know that I'm standing in a very dangerous spot, which is between you and the box lunches that are in the hallway. So I will try to make this brief. Thank you to NAP and the NAP staff, all the board members, and just all the folks who made this conference so incredible. It sounds like it was a really powerful and moving experience for everybody, and a packed house, which is so exciting. I'm a firm believer that we should be able to show up wholly and fully as our beautiful Indigenous selves wherever we go. And that means that when we do that, we change the spaces that we are in. And every day, for those of us who are Indigenous, who go into spaces that were not created by us or for us, but in many instances were created to change us, to silence us, or to eliminate us, we need to be here. And so I hope that when you are in those spaces, you tend to yourselves, you tend to your spirits, you remember who you are and who is with you. And I'm so glad we have that visual of the party that comes with us everywhere we go. I stare out my window at the Capitol at a gigantic statue of Knute Nelson. Do you know who Knute Nelson was? He's the author of the Nelson Act, which is essentially the Indian Act of Minnesota. So there's some days where I'm like, Knute Nelson, and there's other days where I'm like, what's up, Knute? I'm in here, and you're on the front lawn. But what that reminds me of is that we have to be in every single space where things are being decided about our lives. And so philanthropy is the same thing. I know that it can be challenging, but I also hope that you have had these conversations here and the work that you've done where you can reflect on the things that would have never happened had you not been in these seats and in these places and in these spaces. As a recovering executive director, I'm also nervous to be around people in philanthropy. I care tremendously about deadlines and getting things submitted on time. But I also, now that I'm recovering executive director, for all of our friends in philanthropy, please, 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 just fund Gen Ops. And what we have seen in Minnesota in one of those spaces is that when we have Native people in the House and in the Senate and in the governor's office, we get stuff done. Some of the things that we've been able to do is that we codified in state law consultation with every tribal nation who shares their geography with Minnesota. The leaders of every state agency have to go through tribal state relations training, so you can't say you just didn't know. We have funded Indigenous Education for All, which is a work in progress. We've created the first ever state office for missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. Language grants, working in partnership with our amazing urban Native community here in Minneapolis and in Bemidji and in Duluth. And the most important thing that we did so far was we gave back, well, we righted a wrong. And we returned Upper Sioux State Park to the Yellow Medicine people, to the rightful stewards of that land. I share that with you not to boast, but to say this is what can happen when we are in these spaces. Sometimes it feels like it will swallow me up, and there are days when it is really hard to do this work. But there's also these moments where we see the signing of papers with our people to right a wrong instead of taking something away. So those are the moments that I try to hold on to and reflect on. And so for those of you who are working in philanthropy, who are not Indigenous but are fortunate enough to be Indigenous adjacent, I just want to encourage you to do as much as you can so that you do most of the work. That you come to communities with a spirit of reciprocity and not just of asking for education, but to do the work on the front end. And to think about, for those of you who are in philanthropy and represent foundations that have profited off of the removal of indigenous people from land, that you think really hard about what does that actually mean for the work that you do every day and for the people that you serve. And that your organization should look like the communities that you seek to invest in, both your board, with your employees, with the folks that you fund. So those are the things that I have learned in my 6 years being lieutenant governor, but also many years of being in nonprofits, that Indigenous people, Native folks being at the table, creating our own tables where we can fulfill our dreams, where we can make the change that we so deserve to see. It is one of the most powerful things that we can do, especially in a moment where things can feel kind of broken. We can use our work to heal and to bring people together, and to try to right some of the many, many wrongs that many of us have experienced for generations. So, Chi-miigwech for spending some time in Minnesota, Makoche. We are so grateful that you are here. I look forward to welcoming you back when we have a brand new state flag that isn't racist. When we have a state seal that has Minnesota Makoche on it, the traditional, right, the Dakota name for our state and where we are, with Pasine or Monoman and the loon on our state seal. Some folks say, oh, those are just symbols. Well, they're powerful symbols that say who we are and where we deserve to be. Native people have always been here. We are here right now, and we will always be here. So Chi-miigwech for everything that you do and for being in this fight and in this struggle and for doing this good work. I am so grateful for you. And I think I'm gonna call back Eric back up here. But just to say again, Eric, thank you for your leadership. It's really, really appreciated. And thank you for having this incredible conference right here in Minnesota. We're so happy to have you here. So I'll hand it back to you. Chi-miigwech, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was awesome. I appreciate you
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you for making it. What an honor to have Peggy close us out. I mean, what a beautiful way to close us out. Not only is Peggy one of our most inspiring political leaders in paving a path for so many that are going to follow her, but I have always looked up to her in the nonprofit sector, because how many Native lieutenant governors out there can also call out philanthropy to do Gen Ops funding? So with that, it's a wrap. Thank you for joining us this year. We cannot wait to share information with about our next national conference. We have box lunches out there, but please do fill out your survey. We really do want as much feedback as possible because we really value it, and we want to take that into the next conference. Check out the conference app. There's going to be a lot of additional photos and all sorts of other things on there. So thank you very much. I wish you a good journey home for those of you who are traveling.